Next, Waukesha gets the go-ahead to source the essential fluid upon which life depends from Lake Michigan. But hurdles remain. The water challenges the city still faces. Live at 5 starts now.
Right now, from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4, Live at 5.
Right now at 5, a historic decision allows Waukesha to get water from Lake Michigan. Waukesha will become the first community in the United States outside the Great Lakes Basin to get water from one of the Great Lakes.
All 8 Great Lakes states approved the plan. Jonah Kaplan is live in Chicago, where the vote took place, with the story. Jonah.
Hey, George and Carol, first and foremost, you have to think about the Great Lakes as a tremendous resource to this country. It accounts for 20% of all the fresh water in the world. Now, Wisconsin and Illinois, for that matter, yes, they sit along Lake Michigan, but that doesn't mean that every city and town in Wisconsin or Illinois has a right to use the water. That's what this has been all about.
Now, the purpose of today's meeting will be to consider and make a decision on the diversion application by the city of Waukesha.
Waukesha needs water, not because it doesn't have any, but because the DNR considers its current source contaminated with radium, a radioactive metal. With the clock ticking towards a 2018 deadline, Waukesha officials proposed a solution to its water woes. Buy Lake Michigan water from Oak Creek, which would pipeline the water west. Waukesha would use the water, treat the water, then send it back via the Root River in Racine.
Mr. Chair, Minnesota votes to approve.
New York.
Mr. Chair, New York votes to approve.
In 2008, Congress defined the Great Lakes Basin, giving any city or town within this yellow line the legal right to Great Lakes water. Waukesha sits 1.7 miles outside the line, and an official delegate from each of the states within that line needed to vote yes to make an exception for Waukesha.
You know, obviously I'm very, very happy. This is something that the city of Waukesha has worked on for a very, very long time.
Though approved, there were still several waves of challenges to the proposal. Waukesha asked for 10 million gallons of water a day, or 1/1,000,000th of 1% of the Great Lakes. The amended agreement reduced that by a fifth.
This is a precedent, and it's important for everybody to understand that when you want to protect the Great Lakes, enforceability is important.
Two Canadian provinces, Quebec and Ontario, they also had to sign off on the deal tonight at 6. What happens next, and the enormous cost to taxpayers in Waukesha to have the right now to this water. We are live in Chicago. Jonah Kaplan, today's TMJ4.
Hey, Jonah, the Michigan representative talked about the historic precedent. Now, what does this mean for other communities that might want water?
Well, essentially it means that anyone who lives near or close to that line or on the other side of that yellow line potentially now can apply to the Great Lakes Compact and potentially tap into the water. And that's what worries people, especially the opponents of this. They're saying, well, if it starts with Waukesha, why not Oconomowoc? And if it's yes to Oconomowoc, why not to Madison? And if it's not Madison, why not a state out west that has extreme drought problems?
Good point. Thank you, Jonah.